Welcome back, everyone, to an episode of VTH Extra, where we do all of the things that don't really get covered by my other channels. Things like nostalgia and memories from the 1990s, which is what we're going to look at today. This video is from a channel called Guess That, and this is 90s Nostalgia Trivia. How many things can you remember from the 90s? Now, I was a teenager when the 90s were kicking off. I turned 13 in 1990, so 1990s are the time period in which I kind of came of age, so to speak. Graduated high school in the middle of the year, went to the decade, went to college at the end of the decade. So this is a time that, man, a lot of stuff is really important to me. So I thought this would be interesting to take a look at, and we'll pause here and there and talk about some of this stuff. There's 50 questions on here, so I'm not going to break down every single one of them. But this should be fun. I'll put the link down in the description if you want to check it out and see their other content without my commentary. Let's dive into this. Alright, so I don't know how much time they're going to give us all. I guess there's a timer up there on the top. That's Mousetrap. I loved Mousetrap as a kid. It was so cool because it's not just a board game. It's got like the thing and it drops and the ball rolls around, and it was just such a cool way to play a board game as a kid. Oh, it was huge. I don't know if that... I'm sure that's still around, right? It's got to be. Oh my gosh, that's the original PlayStation. Geez, so, if you grew up in the 80s like I did as a kid, then you kind of have had every game system that has ever existed. We started with, we had ColecoVision, and then and that was like, our first video game at home was black and white. It had Pong, and that was pretty much it. I had an Atari 2600, which was fantastic, some amazing games. But this was the first, like, real game system, right? I mean, you had the Sega Genesis, and then you had the PlayStation, the original PlayStation, which I had when I was in college. Probably came out in the mid-90s. What, 93 maybe? 94? Wow. And you pressed that button on the right there, that circle, and it popped open, and that's how you stuck the disc in. That looks familiar, but I have no idea what it is. Skip it. Oh, that's the thing you put around your ankle, and then you yeah. Wow. That was like to store contact information and stuff. Diary entries. Oh, okay. Oh, Dear Diary. Wow. Slap bracelet. That's more of a late 90s thing, I think. I don't really remember that being a thing when I was in high school. You can't do that on television. That's Nickelodeon. Oh my gosh, Nickelodeon was everything. Alanis Morissette got her start before she was a famous musician. She was on You Can't Do That on Television. And I think if you said I don't know, that was how you got slimed during the show. Oh, I forget what those are called. I have no idea. I don't know if I've ever known what they were called. Koosh ball. Okay, yeah, I did know that. Oh, that's the Magic 8 ball. I think those are still a thing today, right? You shake it to get your answer. See, now this is a little after my time. I wasn't really a kid anymore when this was popular. This is more my own kids, Dexter's Laboratory. Same with this. This is not really a show that I grew up watching. Of course, I was a teenager at the beginning of the decade, so I wasn't watching as many cartoons by then. Johnny Bravo. What is this board game called? It looks familiar. Yeah, I don't really remember that either. I also don't know that. Wow. I'm starting to feel like I was old in the 90s. Maybe some of these are like 96, 97, 98, that kind of time period. I wasn't a kid by then. I don't know what that is. I have no idea. That's Cherry Coke? I don't remember that can at all. Oh, that's a Tamagotchi. That I do remember. I never had one, but I remember that being popular. You had to feed it and take it for a walk and play with it. It was like a virtual pet. It was a big deal at the time. Now it looks so, like, old, right? Those are huge. Oh my gosh, that's the, what's the name of the show with the dog? Steve, is that his name, Steve? Steve from Blue's Clues, yeah. Oh, I definitely had one of those. That is a portable CD player. And when I was running cross country in high school and college, I didn't really listen to music when I ran in college, but in high school when we would run, you had to get one that had the anti-skip protection so that you could run with a CD player in your hand. Yep. That was a big deal, that technology. Oh, is it Bop It? Is that what that's called? That's, again, a little past my teenage years. Flick it, twist it, pull it. I don't know what that one is. It reminds me a little bit of Hungry Hungry Hippos, but that's not what that is. Crocodile Dentist. Wow. What in the heck are those? I don't remember those at all. Moon shoes. I'm starting to wonder if I actually lived through the 90s. Cat's Cradle. Do not remember that at all. Same. Gosh, I've seen those, but I couldn't tell you what it's called. It's a weasel ball. Okay. Did I just not live through the 90s? Soccer boppers. No idea. Never even seen those before. Now that's a Game Boy. That is the original Game Boy. It wasn't even in color. It was just black and white, and it was awesome, and we loved it. We thought it was the most incredible thing. This was really the first really mass-produced video game system, and you could pop out the cartridges and put in other ones. It was amazing. Oh, those are lava lamps. I got some stories about those. Oh, man. That's crazy. I never actually had one. The first lava lamp I had in my life was after I got married, and my wife had one that she had brought into the marriage that had been in her room in high school. She's a little younger than me. Oh, those are, is that Connect? No. What are those called? It Connects. That's it. K-N-E-X. Those are cool. Oh my gosh, the trolls. This is definitely a step back in time. Troll dolls. Put some clothes on those things, though. Oh, this is, Courage. Is that his name? My kids, like my eldest, my daughter, who was born in 2005, watched this. I think this is the one I remember the episode with the Egyptian ghost, because they have some Egyptian artifact, and he would go outside, and that Egyptian thing would be there outside, and he's like, "Return the slab or suffer my curse." It's freaky. Courage the Cowardly Dog. That's it. I only saw a few episodes. Oh my gosh, Furbies! I got my sister a Furby for her graduation in 1999. Her high school graduation. Oh, that I had. Now that was actually late 80s. That's Night Bright. Or Light Bright. Light Bright. Yeah. Light Bright. That was a really cool technology because basically all you did was you had a light box. And you put a black, like a piece of black construction paper over it, but they had different designs to them, and it was almost like paint by numbers, except you were using these little lights that you would push into the holes through the black construction paper, and it would tell you what colors went where, and then you'd end up with something like that. Of course, you could make something of your own as well. It's a pretty neat little thing. What are the two little letters on the tag for the Beanie Babies? I don't know what the letters are. TY. Okay. I think that's the company. Oh, again, this is one that my daughter more than me watched. Rugrats. Oh, that's Rocket Power? Okay, I was wrong about that one. It looks like the art style looks very similar to Rugrats, but I guess it's not the same characters. That's not one I watched. See, the cartoons, I think I need 80s cartoons, because those are what I would have watched as a kid. Oh, back in the heyday of Jim Carrey, this is The Mask. Smoking. Let me tell you, some of the movies that Jim Carrey did early on, obviously my sense of humor was much different when I was younger than it is now, but I'll never forget, I think I was in college, and we watched, I was on the track and cross country teams in college, and on our way to a track meet, my college was in Western Pennsylvania, and we had a track meet at Washington and Lee University in Lexington, Virginia. And so we had this long bus ride there, and we were watching movies on the bus on our way there. And one of the movies we watched was Ace Ventura 2. And I'm telling you, I never have laughed so hard in my entire life as I did when Jim Carrey does the shadow puppet scene in Ace Ventura 2. I laughed a ridiculous amount over and over again watching that scene. But The Mask was really good too. Good times. Cameron Diaz was in that as well. What magazine is it? National Geographic. No. Zoo Books. I've never heard of Zoo Books. What? What book series is this? I have no idea. But is that kid turning into a horse? Animorphs. Okay. I didn't read fiction, though. I was always reading history books. The Adventures of... Is it Jimmy the Kid? Captain Underpants. I don't know where I got Jimmy the Kid. Is that a real thing? Captain Underpants. What book series is this? This looks familiar to me, but I don't remember what it's called. I Spy. Yeah, that I do remember. Oh, Smash Mouth. Oh, yeah. Hey now, you're an all-star. Oh, yeah. That was a big hit. Converse, I never wore those until I was in my 30s. I got my first pair in my 30s. Those are a ridiculously uncomfortable shoe. And now that I'm almost 50, I'm going to be 50 in less than 3 years, I'm all about comfortable shoes, not what looks cool. So I wear New Balance and Skechers a lot of the time. But I did have a pair of these when I was doing presentations early on for Rachel's Challenge back in my mid-30s when I started out with Rachel's Challenge. And I had to get gel inserts for them because they were so uncomfortable. This is Full House. Oh, yeah, that I watched a lot growing up. So you had these kids, and Candace Cameron in the middle there. You had these kids, and of course that's where the Olsen twins got their start, because the Olsen twins took turns playing the same girl. And you have Uncle Joey. So they lived with their uncles and their dad. Not really uncles, though, I don't think. I think they were just friends. Got milk? Oh, yeah, that was really popular, that catchphrase. One of the most successful advertising phrases of all time, got milk. Oh my gosh. One of the most iconic TV shows. I mean, that's one of the ones that I remember most as a kid and as a teenager. This is The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I mean, so many iconic characters and scenes. And it was one of those really, really funny shows that also had some very powerful, serious moments in it. A couple in particular I remember. There's the one where, and I can relate to this one a lot because I myself grew up without my parents in my life, and I was raised by my grandparents. And so Will Smith's character lives with his aunt and uncle and his cousins. And at one point, his dad shows back up in his life and then just as quickly disappears again. And there's this unbelievably gut-wrenching scene where Will Smith, and his character's name is Will in the show, is going off on his dad and how he doesn't need him in his life. And then he finally looks at his Uncle Phil, who Uncle Phil was fantastic and the father that every person would love to have. And he breaks down. He says, "How come he don't want me, man?" And he just hugs him, and it's powerful. There's an episode where there's some racial profiling that goes on with a couple of racist cops, and Uncle Phil is an attorney and later a judge, and he uses all his power to come down on those guys. Such a really, really good show. Kurt Cobain. Is that Dave Grohl on the left, who's now the lead singer of the Foo Fighters? He's from, I was born in Warren, Ohio, and that's where Dave Grohl is from. We have Dave Grohl Alley in Warren. Yeah, he was the drummer for Nirvana, but yeah, Kurt Cobain. I remember I was in high school when Kurt Cobain died. That was a big deal. Is that the Macarena? Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, everybody did the Macarena. That's one of the few like dance things like that I can do, that I know. I think it's Macarena though, not Macarena. Oh, this is Good Burgers, isn't it? Is that what's called, Good Burger? All that. I was thinking, I don't know why, I don't remember that show. I remember the dude from, is it Kenan Thompson? Who's on Saturday Night Live, but I thought it was called Good Burger. Maybe that was just where they worked, or maybe it's a different show. That's Good Burger. That's gotta be Good Burger, right? Because that's the same guy on the right. That's it. Alright, I just got a little ahead of myself on that one. That's a mood ring. It would change colors, and they would say it's depending on your mood, that was what color it would show up. Wow, that's hardcore. The Spice Girls. One of them ended up marrying David Beckham. But there was like Posh Spice and Sporty Spice, and oh my goodness gracious. Wow. What a time to be alive. Oh, this is DuckTales? That's DuckTales, right? Yes, you have Scrooge McDuck. Oh my gosh, that was a really good show. I did watch that one. That's Rugrats. That's, I can't remember the name of the character. Tommy Pickles. That's definitely Rugrats. That was a really good show. Good cartoon. I watched that one a lot with my kids. Wow. Okay. So I feel like a little bit let down that I didn't know every single one of those things from the 90s. So maybe I need to do one more from the 80s as it relates to cartoons. Do you have a video like this that you'd like me to check out, or any video at all that's not related to history or gaming that you think would be a good fit for VTH Extra? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.